Welcome into the stream. Wait a second for people to trickle in, but today I wanted to do a interactive deck building in preparation for this month's Classes in Session tournament. Now, for those who don't know or aren't aware, Classes in Session lets you take an existing warlord and change its class to any other class, and if it has a subclass, such as like fighters have Ranger, Paladin, and what's the other one? Barbarian. You can change it to another class of the character, or another subclass of the character's new class. So if you change a fighter with the Ranger trait to a wizard, you can make it like a necromancer, summoner, or an illusionist. So that is kind of the point of the Classes in Session. If you have a character with multiple classes, you choose and change one of those classes. It keeps the other one, and you can still change one of its subclasses as long as it is from the class that is being changed, and you change it to a class of the one you're changing to. So I'm not seeing anybody in chat right now. I'll wait a little bit more for people to trickle in until we start going over the warlords. But what I wanted to do was I came up with a list of a bunch of different ones I thought would be interesting for the tournament. Wanted to give chat an opportunity to kind of look over them and view them and help me decide which one to build around. So I guess I'll just start going over them. If you are in chat, let me know you're here so I know you're watching. We have Artek up here in the upper left. I'll just kind of go left to right, top to bottom. So Artek, he's a level 5 fighter with power attack plus 5. He has order, move forward 1 rank. That's all he does. He has a plus 14 and a plus 9 strike, 12 AC, 3 hit points, very low skill. So I thought just being able to move forward endlessly could be interesting. He doesn't have a subclass that you can change, so that is one downside to him, and having only 5 skill is another downside. So I don't know if you would make him some sort of battle cleric or what, but I just thought the order was a very intriguing ability on him, wanted to throw him on the list. Next up, we have Donner of Clan Hell. He's a fighter. He inflicts an additional wound when he hits with a melee strike, and just like Artek, he has no subclass that you can change, so that is a bit of a downside. So he inflicts an additional wound when he hits with a melee strike, and then he has Spend Order, perform a plus 4 range strike, which may target an additional rank away. I thought he could be interesting as a rogue, because he can just sit way back in rank 3, and you can equip him with the big bow items like Frost Talon, Ice Talon. I think they're essentially the same thing. One just deals with dragons as well. But he can just sit in rank 3 and equip big items, and he can still spend order for a range strike, and if you put Portable Hole in the deck for draw or whatever, he can jump up to the front, snipe somebody who's sitting way far back, and he can play like Lucky Shot, Ranging Shot, stuff like that, to where he can still hit beyond the first rank. So I thought he would be interesting as a rogue. Moving on to life, if you make him a rogue, let me go over him first. He's a level 5 cleric. He can equip fighter items, but suffers -1 level for casting spells. He has power attack plus 0 and react once per turn after performing a melee strike that wounded the target. Remove 1 wound from life. So his big downside is as a cleric, he's -1 level for casting spells. But if you make him a rogue, he then becomes a level 5 rogue with power attack, can remove his wounds, and can equip fighter items. So it eliminates his downside and makes him a potentially interesting choice. Let's look at Loki now, another dwarf. He is a dwarf warlord overlord. So far, all 4 of these picks don't have a subclass that we can change, so that is a downside for them. He's a warlord and an overlord, but as a warlord, he can still be your warlord. He just takes up the overlord slot in your deck as well. He gains +1 level for equipping items, but suffers -1 level for casting spells. Constructs you control gain +1 attack for each item equipped to Loki, and range strikes and DC actions performed by Loki gain from items gain +2. The card says +5. It was errated to +2 once they realized +5 was way too good. So another one like life, where if you change his ability or change his class to something that doesn't work with spells, such as a fighter or a cleric, it completely eliminates his downside. He's not really on a strong body for a fighter. He only has one strike. But same thing where I just thought he could be interesting as a choice here, and I needed to kind of flesh out this board. Let's take a look at Reclesis. I tried so hard to make the poison trait work in 4E. I had a Reclesis deck and I had an Acanthropus deck. Neither were just all that good at all. Like, it's such, I don't want to say weak, but I mean, it really is. Because to make it work, you have to give somebody the poison trait, which doesn't actually do anything until you do other stuff with it. Oftentimes, it's just one wound at a time, sometimes slowly. Oh, I just realized my other light is not on. Hopefully that helps the webcam not kind of have the light be as shifty. Where was I? Poison. But it's just like they need to do DC saves for wounds, and sometimes it just lowers their attack AC and skill. Like, it's just so slow, and it's not good. But I've heard Reclesis as a rogue is actually really good. Back from when they ran these classes in session type tournaments when 4E was around, I know at least some people in our local play group made Reclesis a rogue, and I heard he was pretty good with that. So currently he is an Elf Warlord Cleric. Opposing characters with the poison trait suffer -2 attack and skill. Once per turn, target a character... order. Once per turn, target a character without the poison trait within 2 ranks. Attach a card from your discard pile face down to the target. While attached, the target gains the poison trait, and the text, after the ready phase, succeed with a poison save, DC 12, or suffer a wound after spending. So he has the better ability overall than Acanthropus, I believe, but most of the poison cards are in Rogue. So that is why you want to run him. Acanthropus, I will read off as well. I don't have him on screen. He's a level 5 rogue, Elf Warlord, Scribe +6. He can scribe rogue action cards, and his poison actions may target an additional rank away. Order, discard a level X card up to X, or X +2 if a character was discarded. Characters within 2 ranks gain the poison trait until end of turn. So he's actually pretty solid too. I just heard Reclesis as a rogue was good and wanted to put him on this list. Take a look at the devs now, just in case Gracchus is in chat. Sir Alaron Dilchant. He's a Deveranian warlord, and this is our first subclass. He's a paladin, so if we change his class, we can change his subclass to something else as well. Your paladins have riding +5. Your storm wraiths have riposte +5. And simply put, I just thought he would be a really good support cleric. So when you're changing a class, the options for cleric, this is on the Saga of the Storm website. You can make them a Cantor, a Druid, or a Seer. And I think Cantor or Druid could be interesting on Sir Alaron. You can play a big Paladin or a Storm Wraith in the back, and you can use, frankly, at whatever level cleric he is, you can use Tree Walk to get him up to the front. Cantor, you can boost him. So you can just let him sit back, statically buff all your other guys. Billy D. Kid, I think first one in the chat. Thanks for coming out. I appreciate you being here. Did you get your package yet from last giveaway? I put it in the mail right away, but I don't know if it got there or not yet. I know USPS can be slow sometimes. Let me pull up my Twitch dashboard and just see how many viewers we have. Take a look at that real quick. Go to our stream manager. Hey, we have 4 viewers. Nice. So if you guys have any votes so far on what you want to build the deck around, let me know in chat. The next one we have is, I haven't checked today, but they have pretty poor weather lately. I gotcha. Yeah, we've had a decent bit of snow up here, so I know some of our stuff has been backed up a bit, but hopefully it gets there soon. Moving on, we have Jyn Valford. He is a level 5 fighter, Free Kingdoms Warlord, Ranger, and Lycanthrope. So again, he has a subclass you can change, whatever class you make him. He has Spend Order, put Kill Dragon from your hand into play spent in rank 4. He gains Jyn Valford's wounds and the Warlord trait. Remove Jyn Valford from the game. And then order, once per turn, move another lycanthrope in your army forward 1 rank. Now let's look at Kill Dragon 2, another one I don't have on the screen. But he's a level 7 cleric, Free Kingdoms Dragon Druid Lycanthrope unique. He has 4 strikes, 6, 5, 5, 4, 21 AC, 4 hit points, 11 skill. May not equip items. Spend order, target all characters in a rank within 2 ranks. Each target must succeed with a magic save or be stunned. Then order, once per turn, move forward or backward 1 rank. So the big problem with Jyn Valford decks is, since he's your warlord, you're going to be putting a lot of fighter stuff in there, maybe even some ranger support. And then, I know some decks just use him as a support warlord and that's it. They don't even run Kill Dragon, but I think with this, if you change him from a fighter to a cleric and change his ranger trait to druid, since Kill Dragon is a cleric druid as well, then you can load it with spells, since Kill Dragon can't equip items. But you can put the same spells in there, and if you get Kill Dragon, you can play it and not suffer any setback. You can still use him as a lycanthrope support warlord and run a bunch of lycanthropes in your deck, but if you make him a cleric druid, then you can still play Kill Dragon and not be slowed down at all from that. Next up we have Captain Ducat. He is a level 5 rogue, Free Kingdoms Warlord Scout. Range strikes by your other Free Kingdoms characters gain +3 to the roll. Spend order, perform a +3 range strike. Order, once per turn, discard a spell from your hand, perform a +5 range strike. So he's one I know some people have built, and it's been pretty efficient. I never liked him, just because he's a rogue and you have to discard spells. But at 8 skill, it's pretty proficient. You could make him a wizard and just make him a spell range striker. You can put stuff like energy bow on him to up his range strikes. And you could just focus on spells to get as much out of his ability as possible. You could put a bunch of lower level spells in there, like Evoke Crisis, since your other Free Kingdoms get a boost to their roll as well. So I thought Captain Ducat as a wizard could maximize what he does as a character and as a warlord. Next up we have the Nemesis. This one is a strong warlord. I think in the last 2 Worlds tournaments he's made top 8 both times. He's a level 5 wizard, mercenary warlord, necromancer, and we actually saw a post-format announcement ban where they went back and banned another card that wasn't initially banned because of the Nemesis. So Dragon's Horde is a level 1 classless action. Spend order, draw a card. Or react after killing a dragon with a strike or action. This is off the top of my head, I'm not reading it. But search your deck for an item, put it in your hand. This character is +5 levels for equipping items still in a turn. So with the Nemesis' order, once per turn, kill an opposing non-warlord character with 4 or more levels lower than the Nemesis. With that order, all you need to gain is 1 level or take away 1 level from a minor dragonkin. You can search your deck for any item he can equip, and he's just instantly buff for equipping it. You could get, like, Blackwater Steed, you could get something else to up his level. And then he has another order. Once per turn, kill one of your characters to remove all wounds from the Nemesis. So Nemesis, like I said, he's a wizard, and he's a necromancer. I think as a fighter or a rogue, you try and send him up front. You can remove all wounds from him once per turn. And you can kill extra stuff with his order, whether it just be level 1s, or you sit back and build up his levels, and he can take out level 2, level 3 characters anywhere on the board. If they have a Tauren Iskar, you get him up to level 7, you can just kill Tauren Iskar. And because you can remove all wounds from him, if you give him like a Brunter's Helm or a Blood God's Bassinet, something to up his hit points, that makes him way harder to kill too. So Nemesis, I think, a very strong option for this tournament. Next up we have General Lund. I know Rain Blythewood ran him with very good success in the strategic tournament. He's a level 5 mercenary warlord. He does not have a subclass that we can change, so all we would be changing is his base class. Spend order, target up to 2 lower level spent, not stunned, mercenary characters, ready to targets. I think General Lund is another one that would make a really good support cleric. Since his thing's a spend order, he's pretty much always just sitting in rank 3. He's not moving up at all. He's not going anywhere. He's just going to be sitting in the back. So if you make him a cleric, you can give him stuff like Mass Bless, you don't want to do Embolden because you have to spend for that. But other like wound removal stuff like Soothing Waters. And then you can kind of help keep your big guys healthy that you're sitting back there readying. Now on to the Chosen. Do I have any of my Chosen teammates from Strategic in the chat? Do we have Irish Punk or Elemental? Put these guys in here just for you. We have Rashan. He is a level 4, the Chosen Warlord, Illusionist, Scribe +6. He's a Cleric and a Wizard. He says you're non-Thrall the Chosen, so himself included, have the ability Order, kill target Thrall. Until end of turn, this character gains +1 level and the target's classes. Billy D. Kid says, I don't know anything about the Chosen. So, in this month's strategic tournament as well, we had a lot of players that were on Team Chosen that hadn't played with them, hadn't played since early in the game, didn't know about them, and ended up having a good deal of fun with them. They were printed in 4th edition. I think there's only like 8 warlords for them. There's not a lot. And just because of having a minuscule character base, it makes them a pretty weak faction overall. But what they specialize in, instead of having one main sub-race, like the Devranians have Storm Wraiths, the Elves have Undead, Dwarves are Gargoyle, etc., they have 2. They have Thralls and Daemons. And essentially what they do is focus on killing their own Thralls, who will often give you a payoff when they die, to get Daemons or play just other bigger characters, get some sort of payoff. So that's another reason a lot of people don't like them, is because you have to kill your own characters to make them function. But if built well, you can get characters that have payoffs that don't matter as much if you kill them. So in the instance of Rashan, he kills his characters to get bigger and get extra classes. So the point of him is, you start with 5 other Thralls in play in your level 1 and level 2 character slots. He's a Cleric and a Wizard. It's like you can start with Fighters and Rogues, and essentially he has access to all classes turn 1. All you need to do is kill 2 characters, and he can equip level 9 items in rank 3. I thought turning his either Cleric or Wizard aspect... actually, no, you'd have to do Wizard, because you have to change Wizard to get rid of Illusionist. So make him a Cleric Fighter, and then he can be a Paladin, and he gets access to some of those other Paladin-type stuff, like Stormbrand, or you can make him a Rogue, make him an Assassin, whatever you want to do. And you can give him access then to... I know he already has access to every class, because he gains the target's classes when he kills. But, I don't know, I just thought he was an intriguing option. He's already the strongest one in Ancients, just because of his ability to gain levels pretty quickly. And he Wizard for spells with Scribe. Yeah, well, if he's a Cleric too, you can Scribe those spells as well. But yeah, you can still eat a Wizard, you can still have Wizard stuff in the deck. Essentially, if you just change the Wizard class on him, you can then change his Illusionist subclass to whatever you want for the tournament as well. I feel like I had something else I wanted to say about him, but I don't remember. Let's look at the last one, Naram Sin. He's a level 5 The Chosen with no subclass that you can change. Your Thralls gain +1 attack and AC. While Naram Sin has 10 or more charges, he gains the Fighter class, +5 attack, +5 AC, +1 hit points, and 2 additional melee strikes when he attacks. Order, once per turn, kill a level X Thrall. Put X charges on Naram Sin. So the big one for him, there's a Thrall called... I think it's the Plentiful? No, that's the level 2. There's one that's a level 3 classless, maybe the Harvest. And when they are killed, they're considered +2 levels. So you play them, you kill him, he has 5 charges, he's already at half of his 10. You can play other ancient stuff like Kabir the Insane to up his charges. But one of his big drawbacks is, again, he's a Cleric, but his strength lies in becoming a Fighter. So if you just change his class to Fighter outright, then he's still a formidable Warlord, he just has low AC, but once he charges up, then he's really good. So he can still equip Fighter items. I don't know if that would be good or not. He was kind of just a last-second choice to flesh out all the choices here. So I guess Billy D. Kid, you're the only one in chat right now. If anybody else is watching, which warlord out of these ones do you think we should build for the stream, for the classes in session tournament? Which warlord do you think we should build, and what class do you think we can make them? Yes, Roshan can play all 4 guild cards. That's what I was thinking. If you make him like a fighter, he can play Hand of Power at level 6. He can even spend other fighters to play Secrets of the Suns. Yeah, that's the other point I wanted to make about him. Thank you. So what warlord does anybody in chat think we should build for the tournament, for the stream? Otherwise, if you don't have a strong preference, I could kind of just pick one and you guys could suggest cards. I'll keep this page up until we get a choice. I'll see how many viewers we're at now. Took my little dashboard thing away. Billy D Kid says Roshan could be fun. Alright, he's the only one saying anything, so that is what we'll roll with. Yo, Midge! Thank you for subscribing. Oh, I put the cards over the subscription. I'm so sorry. I'll bump that to the front, but thank you, Midge, for subscribing. And nice to have you here as well. Hey! Midge gifting subs too. What's up? And it goes to Gracchus. I'm sorry about that. I can't give you a refund. There's really nothing I can do there. What I can do, though, is bump the... another Tier 1 sub goes to Icefall. Let me bump the subscription all the way to the top, so then it actually appears when people do stuff. Icefall says Sir Robert as a cleric. Oh yeah, that would be good too. So we have 1 vote for Roshan, 1 vote for Sir Bob. Midge, do you have a preference what we try and build on stream? I will read Sir Robert as well. Are you talking about the OG Robert? Okay. So Sir Robert the Vigilant is a level 5 Free Kingdoms warlord with 3 strikes. You may bring Free Kingdoms characters higher than 3rd level into play as if they were 1 level lower. Midge says, I built like 10 decks already. I want to know what you're thinking. Yeah, I have 5 decks built already. And I think out of the ones on screen here, the only one I've built is Nemesis. So Sir Robert the Vigilant as a cleric, you can play higher level characters. You can play like Tree Walk to get them to the front, Mass Blessing to buff them and whatnot. So Icefall says Sir Bob. Billy D Kid says Roshan. We could do both. Midge, do you want to be the tiebreaker on that one at least? I'll go ahead and swap over to this screen. Oops, and let's go into Create Deck. Stream. There we go. Sir Bobby. Okay. Yeah, the Chosen aren't very strong. Like I said, they're weak. They don't have access to a lot of characters, as many as the other factions do. So Roshan, despite probably being the best in Ancient, still is not all that viable. So here's our Warlord. We have Sir Robert the Vigilant. I did just read him on chat, but or on stream. But here he is, so let's throw him on untap. So Sir Robert the Vigilant starts in play. All right, what should we do for starting characters? Let's clear that one. We'll go level 1 Free Kingdoms. I'm thinking probably Brother Domini. He's pretty good. If we zoom in there, can actually see him. Ada could be decent. I know she's not the most strong, though. You need a fighter to work with Brother Domini. So Brother Domini, he's a level 1. Well, 1 or more are in a rank with a fighter. All characters in this rank have +3 attack and AC. So he immediately goes up to 14 AC. He buffs all your other characters in the rank as well. So he's a common one with like Spencer Latham because he buffs that. I've seen like Geas and Fret and whatnot. So he could be a good one to have in our starting army. Claremont, Reddy's lower level character, so she's good, just not in this deck. Let's see here. Anybody else look decent? So yeah, Geas and Fret. While she's in your discard pile, your warlord has the ability Order. Remove her from the game. Move target free kingdoms you control forward 1 rank. So she could be good to help get your higher level free kingdoms forward. Since Sir Bob lowers their entering level already, and then she provides even more movement. So she could be good. Probably best in this deck, as opposed to Spencer Latham, who's more offensive, but we'll look at him as well. We'll get there. Let's see. Let me know. Brother D +2 Lear Militia. Spend order before it dies. Shuffle them into your deck. Search your deck for level 1 non-Lear Militia free kingdoms. Show it to your opponent and put it into your hand. What would you run as the level 1 in the deck? Would you run like another... Oh, it has to be non-Lear Militia. Would you run the Geas and Frets to help move stuff up or what? The downside there, just like the Devoted with Chosen. Elf Ambassador for card draw. That could be fun, yeah. Sir Bob does only work with, free kingdoms, but still could help with the draw. You have the Lost Bride, you have Hasselmal. Unfortunately, Dedalia was banned. Don't have to be in an elf deck, though. Not sure if anti-card draw will be enforced this tourney, though. That's one of my big concerns, too, in terms of deck building. I don't want to build a deck that's too reliant on card draw, because just in the practice I've played, I have seen some anti-draw as well. And being in Free Kingdoms, we do have access to one of the biggest anti-draw cards in Rurgen. Sir Bob the Rogue, Bradley, and Fumbles. What is Fumbles? Icefall, do you have a suggestion for the level 1 that you would run in the deck to go with the Lear Militia? Were you just thinking Geas and Fret? Oh, Fumble is an action. Fret would be good, more Brother D, sure. So yeah, there's Spencer Latham. Brother D would just buff him. Seems to be the best. Let's go back up to the top and look at Fumble. Oh, I have it set as Free Kingdoms. React, play after a character rolls a 1. The character suffers a wound. And then Bradley says, hey, I was typing. Then react after a target character rolls a critical failure, re-roll the die. Put it on Ancients. Oh, good call. Rafkin can ready Lost Bride if you need to. Yeah. I don't think Bradley Fumble is a strong because you have nothing there to force the critical failure, just something to take advantage on the chance it happens. Shoot, my window capture is messed up. I need to throw something off to the side. Now it's centered. There we go. So yeah, I think Brother Geas and Fret is what I was thinking as well. So Brother Domini, and then Geas and Fret. All right, as far as level 2s go, let's take a look. Ancients. We have Freak. There's a level 3 rogue action that makes an auto-critical failure. I don't know that one offhand, but I do know there's Shadow, the level 2 mercenary. Makes your opponent's next die roll and your next die roll a critical failure. The problem with that is people just like swing with a level 1 or whatever to get rid of that. So then you're really minimizing the upside there. Alright, so level 2, Alfred, no. Now here I don't know as much what to do. Draga could be really solid. Buff all your characters' attack. You could have Borgin Ferris to get a steed to help your other guys, your big guys, move up front. And then he works with deck thinning as well. Bradley does have 2 hit points, but aside from that, he's not too good. I always thought it was funny that, like, he literally has the trait youth. Like, he's young, he's frail, and for whatever reason, they gave him 2 hit points out of all the characters they could have chosen to give 2 hit points to. So that one I don't understand. Like, give this fatty 2 hit points or whatever. So yeah, Draga, characters adjacent, gain +3 attack while she's in your discard pile. Your Free Kingdoms gain +1 attack. That could be decent. Eloise, although, so she's used because she has druids, so you can use Tree Walk with her, but if Sir Robert's a cleric, you don't really need access to that. Jethro can help hold ranks, but we don't really need that too much. Kyrus is good, but maybe more so in just like an Uber deck. Bakbu is an obvious option. I scrolled by Bakbu and didn't even think about it. Completely missed him. Yeah, he is so good in Free Kingdoms. So yeah, what do you think? 2 Bakbu or a Bakbu and a Draga? Bakbu Umbala. I don't know how I missed him. Spend order. Target a character in your army. Bakbu switches places with the target. Brother of Rustic Umbala. Or Rustique, whatever it is. So yeah, 1 Bakbu for sure. I think maybe we just up that to 2. Or do we want to do the Ambassador? Let's search. Text. Elves. So do we want to go 2 Bakbu, a Bakbu and a Draga, or a Bakbu and a Benis? He seems very good. Like Icefall was talking about, you have the access to the draw. Or do we just want to focus on Free Kingdoms? I would probably personally go Draga. There's a lot of good stuff you can do still without elves. But it's up to you guys. You're the ones in chat. I think since Icefall suggested it, we'll build Benis. I think he's a bit more of a unique option. The one downside there is if they start chipping away at ranks, you're either going to have Bakbu fall, and he can't do his thing, or you're going to have Benis fall, and then all your elves just don't do anything. So, in hindsight, I think we go... Do we want to do second Bakbu or Draga? Let's do a Draga. If you guys hate it, we can switch it. Ambassador, if you're going all in on card draw. Yeah, I'm just worried if they take him out. We can try it. If we don't like it when we're building, we can switch it. All right, now on to the character base. So Sir Bob, again, only Free Kingdoms characters get the lower level. But let's do the Lost Bride for sure. Clear fields. So for those in chat, why Why elves? Icefall wanted it for draw. You have Lost Bride and Hassemal. Yeah, there are a lot of good big freaks. That's kind of why I was thinking maybe not him. But since this is chat and viewer focused, I was thinking if you went hard on card draw, you could Hex Stars more Reckless Abandon. Reckless Abandon, let's look at that. Big problem with Hex is you need it to be the first turn. And that would need to be the focus of the deck. So you would want to run like Bastion of Bascaron to make it the first turn. All the questions you have a hard time answering yourself. There's so much to do for this tournament. That's why like I have 5 decks for it. Midge has 10. There's just so much different brewing you can do. Midge, I'm really intrigued to see what you end up running in this tournament. Lost Bride is worthless without Ambassador. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. She wouldn't be run. I think we focus on the freak aspect of it. Instead of elves, you still have draw with Meet at the Inn and Back Alley Tavern. And that might be proficient enough. Or we could just focus on anti-draw and go with Rurgen. Where is it? Down the R's. Urgent. So this is one of the main draw hate cards in the format. Obviously, if we play him, we wouldn't be focusing on other card draw. But being Free Kingdoms, we have access to him, so we could at least consider it. If we're going full on draw hate, we could also run Burn the Inn to try and capitalize on it. Otherwise, if we have Rurgent in play, they're still not drawing cards, and we won't be drawing cards. So there's still a little bit of up in the airness about who to run. Let's do this the easy way. Freak level 2. Alright, anyone who's viewing who hasn't chatted, I'm going to make this nice and easy. We have a poll. Moved into an anti-draw direction with this deck, but it feels slow. Yeah, I personally prefer draw over anti-draw just because it is a lot faster. But anti-draw could be better in this format. You could see a lot of draw-heavy, draw-happy decks. There's a poll in chat as well if you guys want to vote elves or no elves for the level 2. Unfortunately, there's only been 2 people talking about it primarily, so we still could see a standstill. I vote no elves personally. That's what my vote's going to be. So, even if we're not going anti-draw, we don't have to focus on draw as much. Let's just run 2 Bach Boosts for now. Let's roll with that. So moving on to character base. So we want Ancients, we want Free Kingdoms, and Sir Bob works with higher than 3rd level. So we want level 4+. So let's see what we have access to. Oh, let's take out... Nope. Let's take out Warlords as well, since we will see a lot of those at 4+. So right on the screen for chat. I think the format is going to skew fast. Yeah, we could see a lot of combo type stuff. A lot of potential first action kills, first turn kills, anything like that. It could be, if you let draw decks run rampant, you might need draw hate in the format. That could be a direction to go with the deck, but we'll look it over and we'll see what we think. So I think we probably want to focus on fighters. You're on mobile and delayed like 30 seconds. Okay, that's good to know. So if there's an important question, I will give you a minute or two to answer. But I think as far as character base goes, we probably want to focus on fighters and then maybe a couple support clerics. So Anginezka is probably not the best option here. Alohand is a cleric. Probably don't want that. Aristeos, Banyan. Banyan works with lycanthropes primarily. Not really worth it. Brogan is very good. He's unique, but I think we can at least put 2 of him in the deck for now. Maybe skew that up or down later. Katamon's okay, but a little unpredictable. So I don't think he's the best. There's a Kalinar and a Selenar. That's kind of funny. Another rogue. Captain Gallagher Reed. Order once per turn, target a free kingdoms character in this rank. Until end of turn, target gains a bonus to attack AC and skill or hit points equal to the bonus he's receiving from another character. That's so bizarre. I don't think I've seen him before. I don't play Freaks all too much. Sister Amanda is good for spend order readying. Yeah, we'll get down to her, but she could be solid. Patroness Caro is another one that could be pretty good. Brogan is very good as well. Yeah. Garth Brooks. While Garth Drac is in play, your hand size is increased by 1 if your warlords are free kingdoms. He could be good, at least as a one-of, especially if we have Urggen in the deck, who decreases your hand size. I think Garth Brooks is a good one here. Black Tom deck with Too Fast to See for the critical miss force. Too Fast to See. We'll look at that in a little bit. What does that one do again? Or I can pull it up on Untap. Too Fast to See. After strike targeting this rogue, the strike's a critical failure. The problem with that, I think Black Tom is mostly a support rogue where you sit him in the back, especially since his ability is Suspend React. You don't necessarily want to move him up as much, but I guess if you have higher level rogues, then you could run Too Fast to See. And that could work there. So let's put Garth Drac, at least as a one-of in the deck, since he's unique. He'll come into play rank 4. And he's a level 5 cleric that can do stuff that Sir Bob can't as well. That is some funky art. That's quite the nose and beard right there. And Gunter, once per turn, reveal your hand, discard all non-spell cards. That seems not great. Headsman Brock, spend order to perform a number of +0 ranged or melee strikes equal to half his skill rounded down. Strikes may not gain bonuses. He could be decent just as a 3-strike, 3-hit point guy. Maybe put 1 in the deck for now until we start whittling characters down. Hex Starsmore, I think maybe we run as a 3-of. He could be 3-of, or he could be cut completely. He's kind of an anomaly, because if you get him first turn, switch with Bakbu, he's decent. But if not, it's kind of useless. He still has 3 strikes, so he's okay. Pull a Hobbin. Remove from the game if she's discarded from your hand. Oh, I see. Vorgan, we'll get to him. I don't know that name offhand, but going alphabetically, he'll be more towards the bottom. She's good. Maybe one of her for now. Just because that +1 hit point could be huge. EM, Hotelin, 4 strikes. Put him in for now. Maybe cut him later. Caro, after she enters play. She could be good. She's a fighter. And then Patroness Caro as well. We'll get there. Vorgan and Maximilian were in your Anton deck. Okay. Yeah, that's right. You were the one with the Anton deck on the last stream. Kieran, a 3 striker with the planar trait. I think another one that could be good. Yeah, EM is very good with that type of stuff. After he enters play, move a number of your free kingdoms with combined levels of 6 or less forward or backward in rank. That seems decent, but maybe not amazing, just because we're focusing on higher level free kingdoms, so we're not going to need to move the lower level ones as much. Lieutenant Dunbar. If he's adjacent to Sir Robert while Robert is suffering wounds, you may apply the wounds to Dunbar instead. That's hilarious. I didn't know that card existed. So, I mean, that would apply to the new Sir Robert as well. It doesn't say Sir Robert the Vigilant, it just says Sir Robert. So that could apply to Sir Robert of Andover in 4E as well. That's kind of funny. Mammoth. That's hilarious. It's a walking mammoth. Once per turn after defend check ready. Not great. Narrow, 3 strikes, but that's about all he does. After Tristan performs a melee strike. That killed. I don't think that's the best. Monk, no. Rogue, well, are you decent? No. So Patroness Caro, here's what I was talking about. She is so good. I think she's a 3 of in the deck because she's not unique. She's 3 hit points. She's planar. Comes in rank 4. Just a very good card. So we'll definitely have her for now. Maybe cut 1 down, but I think she's solid in the deck. So here's Rafkin that Icewald's been talking about. Spend order, ready, an elf or Free Kingdoms fighter up to 4th level. That's the main thing you use him for. You can spend order to buff, but that's about it. So we do have some level 5s in the deck, but right now we have plenty of level 2s to where it does not matter. Rafkin the Impure, that's interesting. From Stolen Destiny. So we will run the Free Kingdoms version. There's also an elf version, despite the fact that they're both elf Free Kingdoms. Raymie is another very good one. We'll put 2 for now, potentially cut back later. Holy cow, 4 strikes on this person. Loses 1 strike per attack. Oh, for each item. No, thank you. Hey, it's the art from Embolden. It's the art for Ragnell. It's the art for Gyrar Heirloom. See, 4E just took and reused a lot of art. Runa, not too good. Sanjicorn. That's fun, but not good in this deck. Spend order, look at the top 10. We immediately equip 1 item. She seems decent, but kind of low stats. Scrolling card games and saw Warlord. Hey, first time chat viewer. Yeah, I don't recognize your username, but there are a few of us now that cover Warlord in terms of streaming. There's me. I started pretty recently, and then there's Chris Vac. If you used Temple of Lore back in the day, Nirvana Tool, that was him. So he streams as well, and then Sly Fox Live does Twitch and YouTube content. He's a German content creator. But yeah, Warlord kind of making a little resurgence in the last few years. We've been having lots of online tournaments. So this stream is preparing for next month's... each month has an online tournament with a specific theme. So next month you can take any Warlord and change their class to anything you want, and you can change their subclass. So right now, we are building Sir Robert the Vigilant. Let me pull him up here. You can't see the full art since the image is cropped, but he can bring Free Kingdoms characters higher than 3rd level into play as if 1 level lower. So that is who we're working on here. We're going to make him a cleric so he can run buffs like Mass Blessing, Axe of Faith, that type of thing. Riveth is good with buffs and no items. Riveth, where was that one? Oh. Yeah, we could at least consider 1. Oh yeah, except no monks allowed. Monks or mentalists. You can't change to either of those. I'll look at 1 Riveth for the time being. Oh, Warlords. Yeah. Yeah, you can't take a monk. Anything classless, I think, was banned. So Adarami, Ablung, all those were banned for the tournament. There's a small ban list. Could actually have that right here. So very small ban list, just kind of trying to take out any combos. King Zod is banned as well, or any Warlords that just might not work well with the class change mechanic. Raziel. Sir Selenar. So Sir Thomas of Selenar, he's an epic, so he's a 1 of, but he is so good. Just a staple in Free Kingdoms decks. Captain LSE, welcome to the chat, by the way. Thanks for coming. So Sister Amanda is the one Icefall was talking about. She's a cleric and a rogue. Comes in level 5. Spend react once per turn after target Free Kingdoms performs a spend order ready to target. So she can help if Sir Robert performs some type of spell spend order. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun playing Warlord lately. That Scotland. Definitely be sure to follow myself. And then if you search for Nirvana Tool, aka Chris Vac on Twitch, you should follow him as well. Both of us tend to cover our matches in the online tournaments. They're 48-hour rounds. In that time frame, you have to find a time to play your game with your opponent online. So because of time zones and whatnot, it can be difficult to schedule. But so they give you 2 days to do it. So it's usually 6 rounds. So once the tournament starts, every couple days or so, Chris Vac and I will each probably be going live covering our rounds in the tournament. And I don't have resources for it right now, but Chris Vac actually currently does giveaways at the end of each of his streams as well. So definitely be sure to find him. And if you see him go live, tune in for those. Actually get a chance to win some Warlord cards as well. He opens fresh, unopened AEG era packs. Yeah, Karkos and Yidra are allowed. But since they're not classless, you can still change their mentalist. And I think they're just both mentalists, actually. They're not monks, right? I think they're just both mentalists. Maybe I'm wrong. But yeah, you can change those. So Sister Amanda, I'll put her in the list for now. We'll kind of see what spend orders we end up coming up with. She might not be the best, but she's worth considering. Tamores is intriguing. Maybe we run him, maybe we don't. Uriah Blackwood. No. Uther. No. I'm Vorgon. Spend order, choose rank in your army. Free kingdoms have +4 AC while they're in that rank. Yeah, he could be good. And he can do some cleric stuff as well, if we need him to. Vorgon, let's go 2 for now. Run Zaxxon for the lols. Comes into play rank 7. Sir Robert the Dragon Rancher. I think that's it as far as characters go. Well, that's for level 4 or higher. It is a stackable AC boost, yeah. So that is it for level 4 or higher characters. Are there any lower level free kingdoms you guys want to add? Do we want to do Urgent down at the bottom here? A little ways up. Do we want to run Urgent for draw hate? We could run Torin Iskar for some draw, like, on its own, because he's a mercenary. He's good overall. I think draw hate might be the way to go here. Because if we get, like, 1 or 2 big free kingdom beaters, we're able to ready him with Rafkin, get some big items on him. We don't necessarily even need as much draw. And he is a fighter, so he can equip some of that other stuff too. The downside is he does decrease our hand size. And if you have more of those in play, that will stack, I believe, as well. So that could create some problems. So do we go draw with Back Alley Tavern, or do we go draw hate? Go for Tython if you're running OL. True. Yeah, he's definitely much better, and he's a fighter. We're not going to do that in this deck. It was kind of a joke, but yeah. I think Tython's 9. Zaxxon's 8, so a little bit easier to get out. No, I don't want to run Barrett, because his order gets rid of items. And we probably want to focus on items. So Barrett, Iskar. He doesn't actually work with Sir Robert because he's not level 4 or higher. So his rank isn't going to be reduced. And he will blank any items he has equipped if he goes Hulk. So I don't think he's a good choice for this deck. Let's look at a Torin Iskar for now. I say we go no draw hate. I think Urgent could be good in this format, but reducing the hand size is a really big downside. Let's go 1 Torin because of Ancients. Rules, he is considered epic. Vorgern, I think at 2 is good. You don't want too many not fighters that are clogging up your ranks. I don't love Sister Amanda, but we could wait and see what we have, I guess. But she's a cleric and a rogue, so she can't do any fighter stuff. Raymie, very good, but he's unique. Maybe cut down to 1. Riveth at 1. Problem is to get her up front. I know you can have back boo, but if he's used or if he's dead, then she's going to have to equip steeds to get up. Items less important? Yeah, that could be the case. Buff is the name of the game. I think you need ways to get him up front aside from Bakbu. Do we want to run another one in the deck, actually? We have 2 in play. We could start, or not start, but put a 3rd one in, just for movement. Get him up fast. Yeah. So Sister Amanda, I don't love. Tree Walk. Oh, definitely. Yeah, when we get to actions and items, Tree Walk will be in there. So we can keep 1 Sister Amanda for now. Riveth, Garth Drac is good. He buffs our hand size. I don't think... You don't need to be a druid for Tree Walk. You can just play it as a level 2. Yeah. So Sir Bob can still do it without the druid trait. Rafkin is good, but we also have a bunch of level 5s, not just level 4s. Hesman Brock, I think we can cut. I just put him in there for now because he was interesting. Then we have Kieran, who I will pull up. So do we want to cut any Kierans? We're at 3 right now. We still need to cut. I mean, we're at 36. We need to cut several cards still to get down to 25 characters. I think we can cut Hex for sure. Very first turn dependent. Caro is good. Maybe cut down to 2 for now. Drop Amanda if keeping Garth. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. And what's nice about Garth is he's just extra hand size, so that draw hate can't even get rid of that. Still need to cut 6 cards. Brogan, another one who's unique, so maybe we bump down to 1. That's just personal deck building preference stepping in. Unless it's a staple in the deck, I don't like to have more than 1 unique character. If it's going to be a high level character that's coming in and going to be hard to kill, I don't want to have another one coming in drawing later that's going to clog up my hand, be a dead card. We have enough other capable characters in the deck that I don't think we need to double up on the uniqueness. Hola Haben. Remove her from the game. She's discarded. Well, 1 more in your discard pile. Your Free Kingdoms gain +1 hit point. Level 5 fighter, 3 strikes. I think she's good to have. Eam has those 4 strikes. Caro buffs hit points. So let's just get rid of the regular Caro for now. So we're at 28 cards. We still need to cut 3. Rafkin is really good. Vogren, yeah. I've seen him played, but I don't think he's made any major differences. We have Drac as a cleric as well if we need him. So then we just need to cut 1. Agree with thoughts on unique. Yeah. Yeah, I know, like, a lot of people, especially if they're running a rush to the front fighter, like, they'll run 3 copies of a few different level 8 items just to try and make sure they get one before they move up. I tend to primarily run level 6 and below stuff to make sure I can get up. It's kind of a similar thought process there. I just try and avoid dead cards as much as possible and maximize efficiency in the deck. Yeah, Ola is a very good one to move wounds to. So we could run, what's the one? Soothing Waters. She's not a cleric, so she can't do sacrifice, but we can get to that. Let's see, I think maybe a Kieran, just because it's a good body, but we can't take advantage of the spend order. It is only 2 hit points as well, but it's a planar with 3 strikes, so I think cutting Kieran is good. Now on to actions and items. So let's throw some of the staples in first. We have Mass Blessing. We have Soothing Waters. Drop Rafkin to 2. I think I like dropping... Well, we do have a lot of level 5s. Yeah, we can do that. Because, I mean, yeah, Kieran... It's a good body. It does only have 2 hit points, but it's 3 strikes and 9 AC. Rafkin only works with level 4 characters, so let's see how many we have. We have 3 EM, 3 Kieran, Sir Thomas. So yeah, I like Rafkin at 2. Since a lot of our fighters are level 5, I don't want to... Although Rafkin can also target another fighter and just give them +3 attack and +3 AC, or +5 if they're at Paladin until end of turn. They don't even have to be 4th level or below for that. So let's run Rafkin at 2 for now. Axe of Faith, Scourge of Dithanis. Let's put that at 2 for now. Tree Walk. I think that's a good one to run 3 of in the deck. Unfortunately, Bakbu's not a druid, but he has his own form of movement, so we're good there. Now, honestly, the way I build decks is whatever class my Warlord is, I will just go through every action and item card for that class. That seems like a lot of work for this stream. But Sir Baba's Cleric. We could try and find relevant stuff, so we could say like level 3 and above actions. We'll go type of action, format, ancients. And we'll see what comes up. Get that nice and centered for you on stream. I'll just stop scrolling if I see anything that seems good. Otherwise, I know, like Icefall, you said there's a delay. If I scroll past something, let me know in chat and I can go back up to it. Blessings of Granite is good, but primarily for gargoyles. Oh, it's if this cleric is a gargoyle. Okay, I thought it was if it targets a gargoyle. It's okay, but probably not the best in this deck. Blood Beneath Your Wings would kind of be hilarious. I don't run clerics a lot either. Cauterize is a really good one, but if we're going to be focusing on like movement with Tree Walk, probably don't want that as much. But I don't play clerics as much. I'm primarily fighter or wizard most of the time, so this is not... I don't know all of the cleric staples, and I especially don't normally play buffing clerics. Dimensional Rift is okay. Yeah, whenever I have it play against me, it usually screws my plans, and whenever I run it in a deck, I never find an ample way to play it. So I don't like it just all around. If you guys want it in the deck, we can throw it in. A summoned character is just something like Thrice False Horrors. It's an action that creates a character. See, I don't like Embolden because you have to spend for it. And we have Tree Walk as well. We can put it in for now. Because you have to order, you may spend this cleric until end of turn characters in the same rank gain plus X attack AC and skill where X is level. So let's put that at 2 for now. Just because you do have to spend... Oh look, it's Claremont. Divine Guidance, good for upfront clerics. Not as good in this deck. Edge of Immortality. That was such a good one in Ironhall's deck in the last tournament. That just murdered me, and I know Dama ran it as well. So yeah, there's Embolden. It is in the deck for now. We'll see how long it lasts. Ferocious is pretty comparable to Embolden. You can only target 3 characters. Dang it, I tried to click on that. You can only target 3 characters. But generally, there's only going to be 3 that you care about. Oh, it is just attack, not AC. Never mind there. I was just going to say you don't have to spend for it, but no one really cares since it's just attack and not AC. Hands of Faith, too high a level. Healing Choir, it's Canticle from 4E. Holy Might, I think, is a very good one to run as well. Works with wound removal, works with buffing characters. I think that's solid. Incentives, maybe? What do you guys think about incentives? Front rank clerics. Yeah, Embolden works for front rank clerics, but in this deck we have Sir Robert, who's probably going to sit back primarily, would be my thought. And the only other cleric, we have Tauren, who can't do Embolden, and we have Garth, who has +1. Incentives could be decent. It's a good card for sure. But I don't know. We have to spend for it. Could put it at 2 for now. Incentives. Yeah, let's go 2. I think we're near the bottom. Gotta go to another page. Oh, sorry. I just realized when I use the touch screen on my computer, it shakes the camera. My bad. I will focus on using the mouse for scrolling. I saw Minor Miracle down there. We'll get to that, but that's a good one. So we'll slide that over. Try not to touch that as much as I can. Lift Up Your Voices is more canter based, so it's decent, but I don't think it's the best. Spend order until undeterred characters you control have a bonus to AC and skill, so it doesn't work with attack if you're not a cantor, so I don't think we want that. Luminous Cure, I feel like that's art from something else too. There's Mass Blessing, already put it in the deck, very good card. Guile, good card, can't play it. So Minor Miracle, you can only play 1 per turn, so sometimes I just run this in a deck as a 1-of. We can do 2 for now. I just hate running it as a 3-of since you can't play more, but it's a very solid cleric card. Simply reduce the wounds by 1 before character suffers wounds. That's about it. Let's see here. Premonition. I don't think Prolong the Fight is really worth it. Purify, if we have to stun somebody up, we can unstun them. But we're primarily going to be using movement like Bakbu, Tree Walk, Jason Fret. I don't think we'll have too many stunned characters. Lead in Prayer. I'll go back up to that one when I get to the bottom of this page. It might be on the last page. I don't remember. Rapid Regeneration is a spin react. Not sure how that works, but you could drop a character and buff, then move them. Yeah, I will go to Lead in Prayer in just a second. Revigorate could be good. Tor and Iskar can, frankly... Oh no, it's equal or lower level. So let's compare Revigorate to Incentives. Incentives is Spend Order. Target up to 2 characters. You may inflict a wound on each. Each target performs a melee strike. If he suffered a wound, he gains +5 attack and power attack +5. Oh, with Garth, that's true. So we can cut Minor Miracle down to 1. So I like Revigorate better than Incentives, because you don't have to suffer a wound for what it does, and you get all of a character's strikes, not just 1. Revitalize, spend any number of characters. I don't think it's great. So there's Scourge of Dithanus. Secrets of the Storm, not worth it in my mind. Definitely not enough clerics. I don't even think we could do it. Hey, it's Backbiter from 4E. There's the art there. You find so many different like 4E art cards going through this. There's Soothing Waters. We have that too. It simply lets you move wounds around. Like Icefall said, it's very good for getting Hola Haben into the discard pile, killing her to buff all your other characters' hit points. We'll just see if anything else comes up towards the end of cleric actions here. Tree Walk, we have that in the deck as well. Very good card. Rejuvenate. Did I put that one in? Oh, I have Revigorate, but not Rejuvenate. Let's see. I think Whirlwind is banned, so that is a no-go. Word of Recall. Okay, let's go up. Let's look at Rejuvenate, since we're still on that page. Spend order, target any number of characters, remove a total number of wounds from those characters. Yeah, that could be very good as well. We could be getting close to too many spend orders. So maybe want to put Sister Amanda back in the deck. We can look at that. Frankly, let's do that right now. Even if we cut a few, we're still going to be really high. So put Sister Amanda in, and we were deciding whether to cut a Kieran or a Rafkin. We already cut Kieran, so let's just cut a Rafkin as well. Now, do you guys have any items offhand that you want to put in? I think Stormwolf could be good for Sir Bob. Help move adjacent guys forward. And we could run something just like Griffin, a level 5. Could run at least like 3 copies of that to help our other guys get up, especially if we go Bakbu up to rank 2. If they haven't killed the Giason, it just gives them a movement option. It's level 5, so our level 4s could still equip it in the front, just get a slight attack boost from it if we need to. Are there any other items that stand out to you guys? Potentially, what's it called? Shiny gold stick from 4E that gives medicine. Level 8 cleric item. Is it Rod of something? No. I will give chat a second to say if they want any items or not. I'm going to mute my mic and just run and grab a water bottle real quick because my throat is killing me. And I did not plan far enough ahead. That's the webcam. Okay. All right, sorry about that. So Captain Ellisy says, Ishtar a title mace. Let's take a look at that one. Yeah, it's the Scepter of Life. That's it. There it is. Okay. So I think that's a good one. Scepter of Life. Let's look at the title mace. Level 8, spend order, target another character you control who gains a bonus to attack, AC and skill equal to its level until end of turn. Until end of turn, target opposing character has a penalty. So, I don't think that is as good. It's a decent card, but we have plenty of spend orders, and since it only targets one character, both the opposing penalty is good. Don't get me wrong, I just don't think it's worth it compared to some of the other actions that we have. But we can put it in and see if we end up cutting it. We'll go 1 for now. Breastplate of Power. I don't think Commanding Presence is amazing. Yeah, it's adjacent lower level characters, and almost all of our stuff is level, like, 5 or higher, or level 4. So I don't think that's the best. We'll go Breastplate of Power. Other characters in this rank gain +2 attack and AC. That could be good. We could run that as a one of, since it is unique. But that we could throw on like a level 5 once they come in. Staff of Kazazi. Oh yeah. That is a good one. Honestly, I would rather run Hod's Legacy than Ishtar Title Mace. So Staff of Kazazi. I'll pull it up on the Cordlands so you guys can see it. So many staffs. Come up with a more original name. Okay. Staff of Kazazi. So you have to charge it up. Usually not too difficult. It does only ready a lower level character. But, I mean, you have level 4s. Frankly, you can ready Rafkin with it if you want. That seems just like extra steps. But I think as a one of, that will be solid. And we can kind of look through cleric actions as well. Or not actions, sorry, items. We'll go level 4 plus, see if anything stands out to us. Zoom in a bit for you. Okay. What do you guys think about Scribe? We have enough spend orders in the deck to where we might find a couple in a turn. I don't know if Annals of Deveranium is the best Scribe card for clerics, but it could help us hold on to some of those spend orders and play them the next turn. Let me know what you think about that one. Athanase Armor. That would be really funny. Atlas of Vision gives Scribe 2 if you're a seer, not a seer, so irrelevant. No, that's not too good. Avatar of Neas. Bakbu's Charm. Yeah. I think we'll run 3 of those. It's not unique, and you discard it, so you can discard it, equip another one. And, wait. This character. Okay. That is less good. Yeah, since it's this character, it's not Tree Walk on an item, which is what I thought it was when I initially read it. Baskerite Mark, I think, with some of the buffs we'll be giving out, is worth at least running 1. Baskerite Mark, where is it? There it is. It is unique, but I think it is still good with stuff like Embolden and, what's the other one? Mass Blessing. Bascaron's Favor. Discard it. An adjacent character. Nah, that's less good. Let's see. Hod's Legacy is another one, but that's a spend order and lower level, so not as good as the Staff of Kazazi. Canticle, I think we run at least 1 of those. Another thing to help buff. And that is nice because it works even... Like Baskerite Mark, you have to buff with it, with the spell. And that just increases the buff. Baskerite Marks works... Let me rephrase that. Canticle works with whichever spell you cast. It is only once per turn, but as a level 6, I think it's good. Captain Elsie says Hazium. We will get to that one. That's another one I don't know offhand. Let's see. Kill Dragon's token. No, I don't think that's as good. Let's see. Damon's Shield, not relevant in this deck. Again, let me know if I'm scrolling too fast or if I pass one that you think would be good. Fountain of Tears. If Sir Bob is just sitting back in rank 3, we have some level 8 items in there already. I think that's the goal. That can help us keep some stuff alive. I've run that with pretty good success. I think it's a good card. I thought that was the Amulet of Bremen for a second from the Taliesin Medusan Lord. It's like, that's not a level 4 item. It's like level 14. That would be hilarious. That card is so good. I mean, it's a Medusan Lord card, so it should be good. So yeah, there's Hod's Legacy. I think we passed Hazium as well. Move target adjacent spent character forward 1 rank. If this character is a druid, you may target ready characters with this ability. So we already have Stormwolf. I don't think we need Hazium. Stormwolf is a level 8 fighter item, since it's also a level 7 cleric item. Steed unique. Order, spend it, move forward or backward, or order, spend it, target an adjacent character, move them forward or backward. Since Sir Bob isn't a druid and doesn't have a subclass, so we can't change it to anything, we would only be able to target spent stuff with Hazium, so I think Stormwolf for that purpose is better. And they're both steeds, so they take up the same slot. Let's see. Kor's Warhammer from the 20th anniversary set. Not too good in this deck. Let's slide over page 2. Try not to shake the webcam too much. Make sure you guys can see those on stream. And go back up to the top. I prefer to go from the top to the bottom. I don't know why. Just maybe seeing the name first works better for me. But I prefer to go top down instead of down up. Mace of Severance, not too good. Messenger said, another one from the 20th anniversary. Primarily works with Nothrog. Or Nothrog within 1 rank. So it's a familiar. So we can equip it. It doesn't take up a steed slot. It's cursed, but that shouldn't be a big issue. Move target adjacent character forward 1 rank. I think it's worth running 1. We can maybe cut it if we don't feel like it's necessary. But I think it's a good one. The Messenger. Oh, that's from 4X. That's right. Mollusk Helm is Grihilga on a stick. I never liked those abilities much because, I mean, frankly, meat at the end benefits both players, so I don't know why I draw the line with Grihilga. We could run Mollusk Helm. What do you guys think? It could help us find what we need, but it could also give an opponent what they need. The bright side with this is you do actually get to choose. So it's honestly probably better than like a meat at the end, which actually we will put in as well, most likely. I'll give you guys a second to decide on Mollusk Helm while I pour my water bottle into my fancy cup, so I don't have a crinkling plastic bottle every time I want to take a drink. I think as of right now, I'll put Mollusk Helm at 1 in the deck. We can cut it later if we don't like it. Moving on, we have the Nia set. I don't think it's all that good. We have Peace, spend an equipped RX set item, and target a spent character in your army. Not the best. It's okay. But we're working to primarily buff our own guys, not debuff opponents' guys. Ring of Mending, the cleric one, I think sees the least play out of any of the rings. To the point that it's the one I don't know offhand what it does. Your other characters do not unstun. Spend order, put any number of characters into play from your hand. Discard your hand until end of turn. Characters in your army have +1 attack and skill for each character. Okay, that's interesting. Kind of a tempo type card. Ring of the Savant. I think that's a good one. We can get back our stuff like Mass Blessing, Acts of Faith. And it gives us Scribe to hold on to other stuff. So let's put at least one of those in. While I'm thinking of it, actually, before I forget, let's put Back Alley Tavern in the deck. Very good draw card. Since we're going to need to be cutting cards, I think I can take out the Ishura's Tidal Mace. I don't think we need the meat at the inn. Back Alley Tavern is nice just because it can be used for draw on our own. Or if someone else plays draw, we can chain off of it and get even more. So I think that's a really good one to have. The Sacred Text. Not the best. Not the best. Shield of the Submerg. Why? What was I thinking about this one? I think I built something lately with this in it. It seems so familiar. I think I built something recently with it, but I don't remember. Maybe I was just testing a build? I don't know. Sigil of Ishra. Only works with lower levels, probably not the best. Schoenhardt's Mace only works with gargoyles, so we don't want that either. Spirit's Blessings. Not a druid, so not really worth the spend order on that one. Staff of Kazazi in the deck. A pretty good card. There's Stormwolf, so you can read it as well. I'm a more visual type person, so I know I read it off earlier, but just so you can look at it, compare it to Hazium, I think was the other steed. Yeah, Hazium. So I prefer Stormwolf over Hazium, personally. Tears of the Storm is another one that's intriguing, but as a spend order, it's only 1 wound. I don't think we have enough clerics in the deck to pull it off. Like, we could put it on... was it Garth Drac, I think, was the other guy, but I don't think it's that good. The Cardinal's Blessing. Yeah, I think we can run one of those. That's a pretty good one. Now, we are going to have to cut a number of cards from this list already, being at 66. We're going to want to bring it down to 50. You can have more, but then you're not going to get to your really good cards. Cohort's Arc. So that works with the Faith set. I think Peace was another one from the Faith set we looked at. I don't like that too much. A lot of those set type items can be good. I think Cartwright set probably sees the most play. But you need so many of them to function. We don't have any other ones in the deck, so it's not worth including at this point. The Smurg, essentially the embodiment of the Storm, ironically right under it. I always thought this card, for being like a level 8 item, it's unique. It's called the Storm, which is like the big main thing in Warlord. It's an underwhelming uncommon. Like, I thought it should have been this big, powerful card. Like, the art is this epic thing. And, like, it's okay. Like, it kills non-Warlord characters. It gets charges. Like, it's a decent card. You could probably build around it, but I don't know. It's an uncommon. When you're called Saga of the Storm and you finally print the Storm, you'd think you'd want to make it better. Totem Crawler, that's just a disgusting little centipede. I hate it. I hate that art. You can tell that hand is unhappy with that centipede crawling on it. So another familiar that lets you move stuff forward. We have Messenger's Head. I think Totem Crawler might actually be better than Messenger's Head. Let's see. Messenger's Head. So still level 6. Gives you +2 skill. Order spend it. Move target adjacent character you control forward 1 rank. Totem Crawler is any. I think we run Totem Crawler, actually, over Messenger's Head. I know it is dependent on another player's character falling, but that's bound to happen. Like, that's going to happen. It can target any character you control. So you can, like, swap with a Bakbu and then Totem Crawler move them up to rank 1. So I think that is better than Messenger's Head, personally. Volda's Mantle, a good card, but we're not going to be able to equip it because we really don't want to be moving back. And that is going to be everything. So we need to cut. We are at 66 cards. I'll kind of go through on Untap. I'm going to actually let me do something quick. Let's just slide this out. Move it to the top. Let's see. Yeah, we'll slide that down underneath there. I'm just doing some stuff on OBS to make it so you guys... There we go. Make it so you guys can see what's going on here. Okay, so now we should be able to see... Not quite. Need to go over a little bit more. Didn't want to completely cover Cordlands. Looks like we have to, though. Okay. There we go. Now we can see the cards as we're working on them. So, Stormwolf, I think very good in the deck. Helps with movement. Ring of the Savant, also very good. Lets us get back our cards like Mass Blessing, Axe of Faith. Totem Crawler, a good card, maybe on the cutting block if we need to. But again, it provides us movement. Mollusk Helm, since we need to cut a whopping 16 cards, I think Mollusk Helm can go. Baskerite Mark, which affect one or more characters. So it is from anything, not just items. Or sorry, not just actions, like Mass Blessing. Cardinal's Blessing is only actions. So that one... Oh, it's +5, though. That's so good. What actions do we have that buff? We have Holy Might, but that's only one character, and you need to remove a charge. We have Mass Blessing, and we have Embolden, which I'll get to, but I don't love just because you have to spend for it. Or it's identical to Mass Blessing, aside from you have to spend, and it's level 5. So it's strictly worse, but... Baskerite Mark, it is very good, but it's only +2. Come back to that. Breastplate of Power is okay, but I think that one can be cut. Griffin, as the only fighter steed in the deck, provides, I think, a little bit of movement that we need. Back Alley Tavern, it's good. It gives us a little bit of draw without being too reliant or dependent on draw. Get rid of the Mark and the Blessing. Yeah, I'm kind of thinking that too. Since we're buff, like Cleric buff, but not primarily buff, as a one-of, they're not the best. I think I want to get rid of Embolden. I'll leave that one up to chat. I know you guys were the ones that suggested it, so we can at least leave it for now. Back Alley Tavern could theoretically be cut, just since we don't have any draw aside from it, but it can be nice just to chain off of somebody else drawing. Axe of Faith is our only multi-wounding in the deck. I want to keep that as a 3-of. Holy Might could maybe be cut down to 2. The wound removal is nice. The +3 attack and AC is okay. Send it away, he says. We'll get rid of the Embolden. Rejuvenate. Spend order to target any number of characters. Remove a total number of wounds from those characters equal to or less than this character's level. So it's any number, total number of wounds. So you can remove up to 5 wounds. How many spend orders are we at right now? I don't think it's too bad. We have Tree Walk, Rejuvenate, and Revigorate. I think we're actually at a good number of spend orders. Rejuvenate's very good. If we have Rejuvenate, I don't think we need Holy Might as much. So that can go. Tree Walk, definitely going to be a staple in this deck. Minor Miracle at 1, I think is okay. We do still need to cut 7, though, so maybe that will come back to the chopping block. Move all wounds from target character to another character. Scourge of Dithanus, I think, can go. It does work well with Hola Haben, but that's kind of it. Like, we're not going to be too terribly worried about moving wounds. The hope is that if they're getting close to taking out another character, or if they're getting close to taking out a character up front, we'll just have another one that can come right back up. So I don't think we need the Scourge of Dithanus. Soothing Waters I do think is good, just because if they're about to take out a character that can swing or something along those lines, or just a character we don't want to die, we can move that somewhere else. Sir Bob can take 1 or 2 wounds before dying, or before even being in concern of dying, so I think that's a good one. So round 2 of cuts, we need to take 5 cards out now. I think Canticle can go. It is just a once per turn. It's a react, which is nice, but it only targets 1 character. I don't think we need it. I think the rest of those are good. Getting rid of Back Alley. I think we can do that. If we're not if we're not going against a deck that has draw, or if we're going against a draw hate deck, we have to spend order for it. The hope is to not have our big character spent so they can get up front and swing. Not have Sir Bob spent so he can do his spend order. So I think we can get rid of the Back Alley, at least for now. And then we only need to cut 1 more. If you guys want the Back Alley to stay, let me know. But I'm the one who put it in. It wasn't a chat suggestion. So I am definitely fine taking it out. We just need to cut 1 more card to get down to 50. Let's just do a quick once over, see where we're at. Revigorate. Could maybe cut 1 of the spend orders. We are only at 7, though, so it's not too terribly bad. Rejuvenate gets rid of a lot of wounds, so that's nice. I think I'm leaning cutting a Griffin right now, although it is, so we have Griffin, we have Stormwolf, and we have Totem Crawler. Maybe we don't want to cut back on our movement. Let's look at Fountain of Tears. Order once per turn, remove a charge. Target another character within 2 ranks. Either succeed with a magic tech to remove a wound, which is all that we would be doing. We're not going to be trying to inflict wounds, since we're not going to be within 2 ranks. So Robert's at 7 skill, so it's only a 50-50 shot. I think we cut that, and we have our deck. If you guys think otherwise, let me know. But again, Fountain of Tears was my suggestion. I'm fine cutting it. So this is going to be our deck then. So we have 1 Brother Domini, starting in play with 2 Jason Fret, which is another movement card I forgot when I was talking about that just now. We have 2 Bakbu Umbala for movement, and we have our Warlord Sir Robert the Vigilant. Looking at actions and items, we have Stormwolf, which helps with movement. Ring of the Savant, which helps hold on to and get back some of our big spells, like Mass Blessing, Axe of Faith, and maybe some spend orders. Totem Crawler helps get our guys from the 2nd rank or further up to the front so they can swing. Staff of Kazazi helps make sure those level 4s can keep swinging. We have Scepter of Life to keep our big guys alive and take wounds off of them. That medicine's going to come really handy. Griffin, just our only fighter card in the deck, but it's going to be good movement for all of our big fighters. Again, help them get from that 2nd rank where Baku is going to drop them up to the front where they can start swinging. Axe of Faith, the only action or item multi-wounding in the deck. I don't remember if there's a character that does. We'll get to that in a second, but Axe of Faith, a very good one in this deck. Rejuvenate takes 5 wounds off of our army. Generally, wounding is going to be single target, but we have guys with enough hit points to where it's not going to matter. They could have 4 or 5 wounds on them and still not be dead, potentially, at some point. So Rejuvenate can take all of those off. Tree Walk, even if Bakbu's spent, go ahead and swap that Tree Walk with a Jason Fret or someone in the back. And you can get a big guy like Raymie Minacona right up to the front and swing in. Mass Blessing as an order gives a nice buff to everybody. Definitely a cleric staple. We have Revigorate, equal or lower level, so we can target the level 5s with it. Whether or not it comes from Garth, Drac, or Sir Bob, actually, you can target the level 5s. Ready them, keep them swinging. That's especially nice. Where is it? Revigorate with Axe of Faith, which applies until end of turn. So you can play that on somebody, have them swing. Revigorate, ready them, they're still swinging for 2 wounds. Minor Miracle, you can only do 1 per turn, and with Garth Drac potentially increased in our hand size, we have it at 1 to be safe. Soothing Waters helps redirect wounds, keep our big guys alive, and maybe throw wounds onto Holahaben to get her in our discard pile and buff all our other characters' discard point, or not discard points, hit points. Moving on to characters, we have Sir Thomas of Selenar, another pretty close to staple in Free Kingdoms decks. He is an epic, so we can only have 1, but you can remove him from the game, and he doesn't need to be in the front rank for this, like the Deveranian who time stops, the epic Deveranian hero. You can just remove him from the game. Otherwise, on his own, he has 3 strikes and ample AC. And that's until the end of next turn, too. So other multi-wounding in the deck, aside from Axe of Faith. We have Tauren Iskar. Just if we have a card in our hand, we don't need too much. We can look on the top of the deck, try and find something else we may need. He's pretty close to a staple in Ancients as well. Very good, very powerful card. Raymie Minacona. A very powerful Free Kingdoms deck. Played it in a lot of Sir Bob decks. Twice per turn after he kills an opposing character, perform a melee strike. At 3 strikes and some likely buffs, he'll almost certainly be killing. So he's pretty darn close to 5 strikes. Or he can do a +5 range strike for an additional wound if they have a character like a wizard or something like that who's sitting further back in the ranks. And at 3 hit points, he's going to be a force. Riveth Yao. She's at 4 strikes, loses 1 strike per item equipped, but even if she has a Griffin on, which is the only item in the deck, she's still at 3 strikes, and then the Griffin will buff those to 7/7/5, so that's pretty good. Additionally, she has React after she hits an opposing character with a melee strike, but before wounds are inflicted, reduce the wounds by 1, select and discard an item. So if she's swinging at a Warlord, especially like an Uber one, she can take some items off of it, and again, at 3 hit points, she's going to be pretty difficult to take out. Garth Drac, another cleric that can come in and play some of those spend orders for us, and buffs our hand size. It gets around draw hate decks, since he just increases our hand size instead of drawing us extra cards. Rafkin, we bumped down to 2 of. Since we don't have too many level 4 fighters in the deck, but he can ready our level 4s, keep them swinging, or otherwise buff our bigger guys if there's not a level 4 to target. Kieran, although we can't use his ability, he's 3 strikes on a 9 AC planar character. A fighter, nonetheless, as well, so he can equip Griffin. Just a good body overall in the deck. We do have Sister Amanda to help with all of the spend orders that Sir Bob has. Sitting at 7, she can help ready him, and as a cleric, she could potentially play some as well, if need be. Patroness Caro, incredibly powerful. Level 5 comes in with 3 strikes. Going to come in at level 4, or rank 4, because of Sir Bob's ability. Another 9 AC planar, 3 hit points. So arguably the most difficult card in the deck to get rid of. And she can buff all of our characters' hit points until end of turn. At 3 of, she can either give +2, +3 hit points if we get enough, or just buff every turn. EM Holtenin does have pretty low AC and only 2 hit points, but at 4 strikes, Rafkin can keep him readying, and hopefully Mass Blessing can help up his AC and keep him alive. Here's Holahaben. Remove her from the game if she's discarded, but while 1 or more are in your discard pile, your Free Kingdoms have +1 hit point. So that's one we could try and redirect wounds to with Soothing Waters. Try and help kill her, otherwise she's still 16 AC, 3 hit points, 3 strikes. A very good swinger even if she's not dead. Brogan can order spend Free Kingdoms in the rank to move forward. If he moves, he gets an additional strike when he attacks until end of turn. So you can use Bakbu, move him up to 2, and either spend the other Bakbu. That's probably all you're going to be able to do since there are no level 2s in the deck. But he's a pretty good card as well, or you can just move him from rank 4 up to rank 3, just kind of move him that way. And then another Bakbu, so I guess we do have another level 2 technically in the deck, but just to help with movement. So that is going to be the deck. That's Sir Robert the Vigilant. That is what you guys decided to build. That is the interactive deck building. And frankly, I had a great time. I built a deck that I wouldn't have normally built. Like I said, I'm not a big cleric player. I've never built Sir Bob. I think this was Icefall's suggestion. Let me know if you're still in chat, Icefall. What do you think of the deck? Are you pleased with it? Do you like what we put in? Or is there anything you might have done differently? I can post the deck list in Discord, or you guys can just find it from this stream. I could upload the VOD to YouTube as well, so you guys can find it there. But otherwise, you can just contact me on Discord or in the Facebook group. If you want this deck list, you can get it that way, or you can just copy it off of the stream. I think that's what I'll do. I really appreciate everybody coming out, and I don't think Midge is still here, but again, thank you for the subscription and for the gifted subs. It really means a lot, and I really appreciate it. Hopefully, I can do more classes and session streams in the future. I don't know if I'm going to do some playtesting, because I don't necessarily want to give away the strategies of the decks I'm going to be running, but we could use this deck for some playtesting as well. I could use this in a playtesting video, maybe go against some other decks, maybe play against some viewers if you guys are interested. I might be down for that tomorrow. Otherwise, I will let you guys know in Discord when I'll be going live. Icefall said, had to go feed his kid, missing the whittling down, but seems good. Thanks as always for the stream. Thank you for coming out. I really appreciate you guys being here, and honestly, I was scared for a second early on that there wasn't going to be anybody here, and I was just going to have to cancel the stream. So I really appreciate you guys watching, taking time out of your weekend to come hang out and chat and help me build a deck, and for being as interactive as you were. So thank you. It really means a lot. Thanks for being here. I think that's going to be it for the stream. We're getting pretty close to 2 hours. So I am going to go get a pretty late lunch, early dinner, whatever you want to call it. And I'll see you guys later. Have a good rest of your weekend, and I'll catch you on the next stream.